Hi, I'm Rhonda McCleskey. I'm a stockist for Annie Sloan here in the Houston area. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about how to take care of your brushes properly. We get this question a lot in the store, and so just to kind of clear it up, sometimes it's easier if you see it. So most of you are probably using chalk paint, which you already know is a water-based paint. And so if you are using, well, there's two types of brushes. We have synthetic hair brushes and we have natural hair brushes. So obviously you're going to be using one of the two. If you are painting with chalk paint and you're using a synthetic hair brush, all you have to do is take your brush to a kitchen sink, deep sink, whatever, run some cool water and just let the water run through the brush. You can run your fingers over it to clean it out. You're going to get probably 95% of the paint out of the brush just by using running water. Once that's done, just take a little bit of dish soap. You can work it into the brush and get the rest of the paint out that may be stuck in there. Then you want to rinse it really well. Make sure you get the soap out of your brush. Get a paper towel, get just some absorbent cloth, microfiber or something like that. Make sure you squeeze all the excess water out really well. I take them outside and shake them a little bit, and then you want to hang them up to dry by the little hole that's in the end here. That way all the water will evaporate out. It's not going to end up in the ferrule of your brush and cause it to rust. So that's really it for taking care of your synthetic hair brushes. You don't want to soak them for a long period of time, because if you stick them in the water and you leave them, you're going to mess up your nice smooth edge, your flat edge, which is really why you're using a synthetic brush for chalk paint. So I wouldn't soak them and I wouldn't leave them sitting in water for an extended period of time. If you take really good care of it, it will last you a long, long time. Once your brush is dry, then we stick ours in cups so that they're stored, you know, this, I guess, upside down, and that's fine. Now, the brush that I want to draw your attention to the most is the natural hair brush. Again, if you're using chalk paint, it's water-based. So same story, you're going to take it to the kitchen sink, run some cool water when you're dealing with the paint, and just run your fingers through it, and you're going to get most of that paint out of there. If you've been painting for a long time and you've got some paint buildup around the top of the brush, you can go ahead and get a little disposable container, fill it with some cool water just over that that paint edge, and go ahead and soak your brush for no more than 5 minutes. Natural hair brushes pull the water up into the ferrule, and if you soak this brush for a long period of time, you can cause bristles to fall out prematurely and that sort of thing. So you really don't want to soak them for a long time, but 5 minutes in water is okay. Once you take it out, get most of the paint out with your hand or with your fingers. Then what you want to do is get a scrubby pad. We use a scrubby pad and we use lye soap. Lye soap will get the remainder of the paint out of the brush, and it will also recondition the hair, because natural hair brushes are real hair, and so after a few washes you're going to need to recondition the hair so that it stays soft and clean. So how we do this is, once you've rinsed all the paint out, I go and get my scrubby brush and I get my lye soap. I leave my soap dry if I can, because it will last me a lot longer. I take my lye soap and I scrub it on the scrubby pad like this, and then I'm going to go back to my brush, which is already wet, and I'm just going to work the lye soap into the brush. Do that for a few seconds. It will lather up a little bit, and then go back to the sink with the clear water running and just rinse that lye soap out of your brush really well. You don't want to leave it in there. Once it's rinsed out well, just get some paper towel, a microfiber towel or something absorbent, and really squeeze it well. Get the remainder of the moisture out of that brush. Take it outside and shake it out really well. And again, just like your synthetic brush, you want to hang it up to dry by the little hole that's in the end. If you take really good care of them and recondition the hairs, this brush is going to last you a long, long time. They're great quality brushes. So those are your paintbrush tips. Now that's synthetic hair and a natural hair brush. I want to talk to you for a minute about your wax brushes, because the care for them is just a little bit different. Same idea, but just a little bit different. What I do is when you get done with your wax brushes, I have a couple different styles here for you. A wax brush is always natural hair, so don't ever try to use a synthetic hairbrush to wax with. Once you're done waxing, our wax is an oil-based product, and so you don't want to use just running water. That's not going to be enough. So what we do at Restored Home is once we're done waxing, we'll get a disposable container, a little Rubbermaid container, a Tupperware, and fill it with some warm water. So with your wax, you're going to clean with warm water. Paintbrushes are cool water. Once you get done waxing, you'll see that there's a wax line where the wax is absorbed into the hair of the brushes. I want you to fill your cup just a little bit over that wax line, and I put a splash of Simple Green into that water. Simple Green is readily available. We carry it here in the store. We have it online. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, that sort of thing. But you're just going to put a splash of Simple Green into that warm water. I want you to soak your brush for about 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, just over that wax line. After 5 minutes, you're going to take your brush out of that solution. The Simple Green is going to break down that wax for you. Then you're going to go to your little heart scrubby pad and your lye soap, same process as the natural hair brush, paintbrush that we just did. Again, I scrub the lye soap onto the scrubby pad. I'm going to work that into the hairs of my natural hair brush. It'll lather up a little bit. Then I go to the sink and I'm just going to rinse that lye soap out really, really well. And that's about it. Again, squeeze the moisture out, shake the brushes out. Wax brushes do not have holes in the handle, so but because the hairs are a little more stiff, I just get out a paper towel and I quarter it and put it on the countertop, and then I just in fact, with the flat brushes, it'll just stand on top of that paper towel and it'll be dry by the next morning. This one you can kind of prop up in the corner. You just wouldn't want to store a damp brush upside down. It's not good for your brush long term. So until it's dry, I would keep it in this position. That is basically it for the care of your brushes. I do recommend, again, getting yourself some lye soap to recondition the hair in all of your natural hair brushes. They will last you a heck of a lot longer. Lye soap is not necessary for a synthetic hairbrush. It's not going to hurt it, but it's not really necessary. So I hope that is helpful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to call the store, or you can send us an email. You can find our information on the web at www.therestoredhome.com. Happy painting!